everybody. I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
And thank you so much for tuning in to Our Life, Our Journey.
Our Truth.
We're so excited to have you once again tuned into this YouTube channel. We're so excited, and we appreciate all of you who have become a part of this great community. So many of you comment and you reach out to us, and we just appreciate that so much. So make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you
share and subscribe.
Yep, because we want you to be a part, to get notifications and all those great things. And it means a lot to us. We just want to bring you content, our gift to you, to make sure that you are growing in your relationships and life. Make sure that all things are happening and that God is moving you toward purpose and destiny. That's what it's all about for us.
And
we're thankful to God. And of course, make sure you follow Dr. Steph and Dr. Steph Walker right there on Instagram. Follow me at Joseph Walker 3 and stay connected with us. Go to our website, josephwalker3.org. You can get our books. We've written a book together we call Becoming a Couple of Destiny, and you ought to go out there and get it. And other books we've got out there as well. But listen, also get the merch. You can get your Couple of Destiny shirts. Go out there and order yours, or Connected by Destiny, or whatever shirt you see, you can order it. Got some other stuff that's going to be coming soon too, so get ready. We're excited about it.
And you can even custom design them.
Now that's pretty cool, right? Because she likes the different colors, and you can get red, purple, green, whatever. Just go out there and make it happen, and go out there and let us know. Take a picture, send it to us, say, hey, I'm rocking with y'all. We appreciate you so much, and thank you once again. Today we are excited about this topic because I think it's
important.
And we try to frame this conversation around, are you in love? Are you in love with the idea of being married? Wow. So can I start telling a story?
Yeah.
So the story I tell is it's about maturity. It's about how we evolve in this place.
Yeah.
And I think that men in particular, we grow up playing toys, Tonka trucks, etc., games. So oftentimes women say, why aren't men ready to get married? Because it takes a long time, because men mature later in life. And so when a woman is 21, 22, and she's ready to get married, a boy's still playing games, right? Because that's what he does. The woman, however, she's playing house. She's playing Barbie's dream house. She's doing all these things, right? She's got so at 16, 17 years old, even in college, 2021, she's, already imagining, what her wedding will be like. She's, flipping through magazines. She's looking at different things, etc. So in her mind, because she's already fathomed Barbie's dream house, she's thinking about what her house would look like. So I brought that up because I think it's important, because I think sometimes people are so enamored with the idea of what this image of marriage looks like that we lose sight of really what it means to love someone. You can look at Barbie and the fact that Ken was there, and Ken, they had no house, he ain't owned nothing.
Well, I think it's the idea of not being alone, right?
There it is.
So one, let me preface this by saying, first of all, I love you, but not all women are hyper-focused on finding some dude, right? Like some people are actually career-oriented and career-focused. But sometimes, even in the midst of that, you can still have this ideology, the specific timeline that you have your life on, such that you do fall victim to this conversation. So it's not just about only thinking about getting married. It's about getting married when you want to, how you want to whom you want to. And sometimes that's not God's plan. So sometimes you can be in a relationship, and instead of focusing on, is this an equally yoked relationship? Do I really want to be with this person? Is this person really value added, going to help me get to my destiny? Can we really become a couple of destiny together? You're looking at your timeline and thinking, well, I'm 26, I don't want to be 35, looking for a mate. Although that might be God's timing for you, right? You might be like, well, let me hurry up and try to get him to marry me so I can have kids, and I can have 3 kids by the time I'm 35, because you've got this imaginary timeline in your head, and that's not the person that God wants you to be with. So here you are jeopardizing your future because you're in love with the idea of being married on your own timeline, as opposed to really focusing on, is this the right mate for me?
That's good, and I think that's very good, and I receive that.
Yeah.
I think it's important too because I think when people mature and
Yeah.
grow in a
Yeah.
relationship,
Yeah.
a part of loving that person is getting to know them through all seasons, understanding where
Yes.
they are, what their dreams and
Yes.
purposes are, and when you begin
Yes.
to insert your expectations on them,
Yeah.
you can derail the process of
Mm-hmm.
actually getting to know that person and finding out if you really love them.
Yeah.
And they're wondering, do you love me or I'm just available?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think it works both ways. I think men can also fall victim to this. I know, I just remember laughing in my friend circle when we were young and single. Sometimes it's that lucky person phenomenon, right?
Oh, God.
So the guy he's been dating a really great woman, and for some reason it doesn't work out, or he messes up or what have you, and then she walks away. Well, it's this next person that comes in. It doesn't matter who they are, what they're doing, or what they're
Yeah,
bringing to the table,
good.
but he's so afraid that that person is going to walk out that he puts a ring on it.
Yeah. Lucky person.
And it has nothing to do with that person. It actually has to do with the person before her that left, right? And then you turn around and you look and you're like, he was just in a relationship and now they've been out of a relationship for 6 months and now he's engaged. Well, it has nothing to do with that person sometimes. And so again, it's not always just women who do this, it's also men as well. But I think also career-driven women especially can sometimes fall into this trap of comparison. So sometimes you've got friends who are also career driven, or maybe not so, but whatever the case is, your friends around you are getting married or getting engaged or maybe in long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And you're looking around saying, what about me? Well, first of all, let me tell you, there's nothing wrong with you. Again, God's perfect timing, just like he's working on you, he could possibly be working on your soulmate at the same time, right? But sometimes we get in that sort of urgency trap, right? Where we're constantly looking and searching and trying to make things and puzzle pieces and other people fit into our lives who aren't necessarily supposed to be there. And then you fall victim to this, that'll do.
Yeah. That'll
That'll do. Like, you don't have to, like, I had this list of all these things that I, really felt like God was leading me to have in a relationship or believing God for. But you know what? Let me cross this off because I don't think any of these things are possible, but I'll take 2 out of 10. That'll do. And then you end up settling for something that's not meant for you because you're in love with the idea of being married again on your own timeline because of the sense of urgency that you have, as opposed to truly waiting on the thing that God has in store for you.
Yeah, that is so well said, so profound. And I think at the foundation of what you said, what kept bubbling up in my spirit is avoiding fear-based relationships.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
You get it? Like
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
idea that I'm afraid of what might happen,
Yeah.
what might not
Not happy.
happen,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And so therefore I'm moving in my emotions. I'm not really prayerful. I'm not thinking logically. It's just out of fear. And this person might get away, or they might
Yeah.
leave me, or I might
Or
be,
single. I might end up
the auntie with the
single.
cat.
Yeah,
Right.
well, or thinking that this is the end all be all.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think, well, if this relationship doesn't work out, again, going through your imaginary time. And I can say this because I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from experience of people that I know who are near and dear to me, and my own personal experience. Feeling like if this relationship doesn't work out, and I've been in this relationship for 2 years,
Man.
we're smart people. We do this calculation. Okay, so if this doesn't work out, that means it's going to be looking for someone for the next year, finding that someone, still having to be in a relationship for another 2 years, and then finally getting married. That's a 4 to 5 year plan, but I want to get married today.
Yeah.
And we self-sabotage when we do that because God's timing is perfect. Do not put God in a box. I've met so many people who have had relationships where they left a relationship that they were in for 3 to 5 years. They met someone and they were married in 6 months. And they're still happily ever after married. Not say perfect married, because no marriage is perfect, don't get me wrong. But they're happy and they're moving through life and growing to become couples of destiny. And so I think we end up sort of sabotaging our futures out of fear, like you're saying, but also putting limitations on what God is capable of doing.
And that's it, right? Like, I think the real question is, do you trust God?
Yes.
Like, what does it really mean
Yes.
to trust God.
Yeah.
We often say it. We write about it. What you're looking for
is looking for you.
looking for you.
Yes.
And do you trust God to bring the right person at the right time, at the right space, in the right season to connect you with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is exactly the story of our life, right?
Yeah, and know that you will breathe again. If this relationship that you're in doesn't work out, you will breathe again. You will live to see another day.
Yeah.
You know, and forgive me for saying this. My girlfriends and I, when we were like growing up, like young teens or whatever, used to say, well, men are like buses. One comes every 15 minutes. That's sort of true, but not. But just saying, my point is, yes, I'm laughing, I'm joking. It is a joke. But my point is, if that is not for you, if you have the faith to let it go, that opens your hands to those things, those people that God wants to connect you with. If you're holding on to something that you have no business holding on to out of fear of letting go, out of fear of this timeline that you've created in your mind, then when that thing walks by, or you're in the place and space that you're supposed to be in, and you're being introduced to this person, but you're still connected to this other individual, you will miss out. So sometimes it's addition by subtraction. You let go to be by yourself, to allow the space that you need for God's grace to operate in your life so that He can add value to your life by adding people, adding circumstances, adding careers, adding whatever those things that you have, you know, in your deepest, darkest hearts. Whatever those desires that you have, God is capable of adding that to you, but sometimes you have to let go in order to let God.
So somebody's watching, right? And this is their question. I just can feel it, right? I'm gonna ask you, right? So I'm in this relationship and I've invested time and I'm wondering where this is going. I've got like a year in of emotional equity, etc. At what point, if any, is an ultimatum appropriate?
I don't think you ever give anyone an ultimatum, because an ultimatum is simply you making them do what you want them to do, right? You don't want to be married or in a relationship with someone because you made them. That's where resentment creeps in. I'm a firm believer in stepping away momentarily and taking your hands off. And if it's meant for you, it will come back to you. And if it doesn't, it was never yours to begin with. And at the end of the day, no devil in hell can keep apart what God means to bring together. And we've seen it over and over again. You've seen people break up and then they date other people and then they circle back and they're like, I couldn't find anyone like you. And they're back together and now they're living their merry life. And sometimes relationships do need space. Sometimes relationships and individuals need to be able to miss you. They need to be able to know that you're not just going to sit around and just wait all day, all week, all year for years, because sometimes it's them just taking advantage of your kindness, or sometimes it's just people looking at you like you ain't going nowhere. So what is the urgency for me to put a ring on it if you're not going anywhere? Like, walk away. Do you, boo? You know, take time to focus on you, grow you, become the best you that you can possibly be. And full transparency, this is our life, our journey, our truth. I did that. I was in a relationship. It wasn't working out. I was in California. He didn't seem to be willing to put a ring in it. He was trying to juggle two people. And God said, more than two people in a relationship, somebody's going to get hurt. I didn't want to be that person to get hurt, so I left it. I went, furthered my career, did what I was supposed to do for myself, stayed focused. And as usual, people start calling. But I was not in a place or space to want to go backwards in life. I kept focused. I kept moving forward. I dated other people. And I eventually met my husband. This amazing man right here.
I hear that.
But if I would have stayed where I was and stayed stuck, that's exactly where I would have been, stuck. And I would have missed out on growing my life, becoming the best version of myself, furthering my career, meeting the man that I now have a beautiful family with. And so I'm not speaking just from the air. I'm speaking from experience and the experience of many others who are like me.
Man, well said. I think that when you look at, the biblical examples of how God
Yeah.
brings people together, you
Yeah.
look at people in their own situations and how they were willing to wait. Ruth is a perfect example. All
Yes.
that she had going on, she never sought out anything. She just put
Yes.
herself in position. She worked the field. She did her thing, and God orchestrated her steps and
And
put
she
her.
said, Lord, I'm going to go with
Yeah.
you wherever you want
Yes.
me to
Yes.
go. She was
Yes.
open
Yes.
to being
Yes.
led, knowing that no
Yes.
matter what, wherever God was is where she wanted to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. If you have relationship, let me bless you. If you have marriage or relationship on the front of your brain all the time,
Yeah.
I'm just gotta go and I gotta, meet somebody. I gotta go where and you're desperate. You're in this place that's unhealthy because what you have to do is allow it organically to evolve and to come to you, and
Yes.
it will.
Yes.
And I know sometimes desperation can be the rule of the day, particularly in light of the wilderness of singleness out there. That's crazy, and you're like, wow, my options are not great, and this or that or that. But I believe with all of my heart that if you learn to put yourself in a position and God orchestrates your steps and move beyond infatuation, which I think, is, being, attracted to an assumption. You don't really know that person. You just have this assumption in your head who that person is. But when you really spend time and get to know a person and find out if you have shared values, shared goals and dreams, you begin to realize, do I love this person? And here's the deal. If it's really love, you wouldn't have loved them whether or not they are destined to be with you or not.
And I love that, because I think one of the things that I personally had an issue with in relationships, and one of the reasons why I end up staying in many relationships far too long, was because I always felt like a relationship, in order to break that relationship, if you claim to love that person, it had to be like a disaster. They had to like cheat on you and do all this crazy stuff in order for you to walk away. But sometimes a good person is not necessarily a good fit.
Right.
It doesn't mean that the person has to be a bad person.
Say that.
Right? And so I'm saying this so that you don't continuously waste time, wasting your time, wasting their time, feeling like you have to stay connected, you have to do things, a certain way or what have you. Like sometimes when you realize that it's not a good fit and you guys are not going in the same direction, you don't have to demonize the person.
Yeah.
You can love them from afar.
Yeah.
You can turn that relationship into a platonic relationship and keep it moving and still maintain a friendship, but not one that's leading to anything significant.
Powerful, powerful. Listen, man, we really hope that what we have shared today has been a tremendous blessing to you.
Yeah.
So many people really do love. They really know what that feels like, and they fall in love. And we hope that you will have that experience and not just be in love with the idea of being married.
Yeah.
Because marriage takes work, and it is a full-time job. And I believe that what God has for you is for you. And He's spoken to you through us today to be encouraged and to not allow yourself to fall into this place of depression or feeling like you've been abandoned. God's got you, man. Do you trust Him? And don't go into these fear-based relationships. Don't live your life like that, but trust the process and know that God will always have your best interests at heart. At the end of the day, if I love a person, I'm willing to love them in any capacity God has chosen me to love them. And I don't have to be negative or visceral if the relationship does not work out.
Right.
I can release them to what God is going to do, and I can trust God for what He has in my life. That's what it's all about. And I think that's how you ultimately become a couple destiny, because we got to that point. And let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. This is a true story. I ain't gonna lie. I had a little fear because I was too afraid to let her go, because I couldn't imagine life without her. I was like, Lord, don't, please just be with me. Don't say no. please date me. And she did. Because I knew when I found her, it wasn't going to be nobody else on the planet I would have ever met like this one.
Aw, thank you, honey.
But hey, we thank y'all so much.
Points.
Yeah, we thank y'all so much for tuning in today. And we hope that this has been a blessing to you. Comment. Let us know your questions.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation in the comment section. We love to read your questions, hear your thoughts about this topic. And we look forward to connecting with you again. Make sure you follow Dr. Steph. Follow me. There it is. Here it is. Make sure you do it. Go to our website again, josephwalker3.org. Hey, get your merch. Come in a couple of Destiny and other stuff out there. Personalize it to yourself. We appreciate you so much. And this has been a blessing.
Yeah.
We thank God for you. So I'm Bishop.
And I'm Dr. Steph.
Until next time. Peace.